Welcome to the Team Engagement Podcast, where leaders of teams share their insights. We ask 6 questions in less than 9 minutes because leaders know how to be concise. Let's jump right into it. First question, in a few sentences, tell us who you are and what you do.
Yeah, thanks for having me on here, Sean.
You
So
bet.
my name is Jeremy Jenson. I'm the founder and CEO of Encore Search Partners. We're a 25-person executive search firm headquartered here in Houston, Texas.
Great. Well, question number 2, what's the best thing about working with a team?
Man, that's a tough question. I know for me, my number one love language is words of affirmation. And so I suppose the best thing about working on a team, specifically as it relates to me and my career, is I love surrounding myself with individuals that, truly respect and admire the value add that I create for them, not only professionally, but also personally as well. And so I would say that the best thing about working in a team is, having people that have your back, going to work with individuals that you truly love and consider as family. I would say those are kind of, what I view as the best part, at least about working on my team.
Well, I like that answer. That's a great answer. Question number 3, I hear from other leaders of teams that it can be a challenge to get team members engaged. Tell me your thoughts on that.
Yeah, absolutely. I would wholeheartedly agree. I founded my first firm 10 years ago, back in 2010. And, it was an environment where there was a great deal of turnover, right? I would hire people, I would train them, and they would either perform or they wouldn't and get managed out very, very quickly. It really wasn't until we implemented a business framework called EOS, the entrepreneurial framework. Whenever we brought that in and clearly defined our mission, vision, and values, and I brought in what they call an EOS integrator, who's now the president of our company, he was the one that kind of started to implement a lot of the systems and methodologies that would keep and get our employees engaged. And unfortunately, during that process, we probably went through maybe a 90% turnover in staff, because we needed to get the people that wanted to be on the bus and the folks that wanted to row the bus in the same direction. We needed to basically get the old regime off and the new regime on. And so fortunately, here we are 3 years later, experiencing rapid growth, record profitability. And again, it's awesome to see that if we just had that business framework, we could have had engaged employees the whole time.
That's a great experience. Thank you for sharing that. It's kind of that school of hard knocks, but you overcame it and became very successful as a result.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's great, great example. Next question. What other piece of advice would you give to leaders of teams?
Oh, man. My advice that I would give to leaders of teams is play to your strengths. Just because you're the founder doesn't mean you need to be the leader of the team, right? You can hire a strong captain or a strong lieutenant to go out there and be that true leader that's going to cross the T's, dot the I's, and work with individuals with regards to coaching and putting them on performance improvement plans, not only trying to get them off the bus, but actually trying to handhold them to get back on track, right? And so I guess that would be the biggest piece of advice that I could share is, if you know that you're an innovator, if you know you're a creator, a visionary, go out and find that person that is going to be that more tactical leader of the team, and have the humility to recognize, hey, look, I might be great at selling, I might be great at engineering, but at the end of the day, a founder CEO has never really been formally educated on management skills.
Yeah, that's great insight. I definitely agree and support that approach. So great comment. 5th question: what other successful team leaders, such as yourself, should be on my podcast?
Oh man, so many. I think the first well to go to is figuring out individuals who are implementing EOS, the entrepreneurial operating system. A good friend of mine, he's an EOS implementer here in Houston. His name is Mark Henderson Leary. I think he could be a good resource for you that has a lot of experience share around that. And then maybe another individual could be, the president of my company. He might have a completely different perspective on, leadership and leading teams. And again, he's a little bit more, I guess, formally educated in that arena. I've been the one that kind of just shoots from the hips and makes decisions as you go, right? And so Scott Kelly could be a good resource for you as well with Encore Search.
Fantastic. Thank you for those recommendations. They sound like great people. So thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Well, sixth and final question. Tell us about your first job.
Oh man, I had so many of them. My first job was when I was 16 years old. I was a grocery sacker at a place called Albertsons here in Houston. And it's so funny. A wise man once taught me. He said, "It doesn't matter how smart you are. It doesn't matter how formally educated you are. You always want to hire the people that don't squish the bread." And I said, I remember his name. His name is Gary Meyer. He's in Austin, Texas now. But what he was getting at is you want to hire the individuals that no matter where they're at in business, in life, the hierarchy in the organization, to where they just give a damn, right? They put the cold stuff with the cold stuff. They put the warm stuff with the warm stuff. They double wrap the meat, right? And I would say that was me, even at 15, 16 years old. Is I took a lot of pride in my job, and I was fairly compensated. I think minimum wage at the time was about $5.15 an hour, but I didn't squish the bread, and I think that my leaders would have given me a raving endorsement and say, "Hey man, that guy Jeremy, he tucks in his shirt. He shows up on time, and he actually cares." So that was my first job, a sacker at Albertsons.
What great lessons. And I love that phrase, don't squish the bread. I have to remember that one. That's great.
Absolutely.
Well, Jeremy, thank you so much for being on the podcast today. How can people find you?
Yeah, so I've got a big LinkedIn following, a big network. We've got about 40,000 followers. I would say that's the easiest way to follow me and find me. I do reply to all of the messages that I get, good, bad, or indifferent, right? Can't help everybody, but look me up, Jeremy Jenson. It's Jeremy, last name Jenson, and I'm the CEO of Encore Search Partners. So that's the best place to track me down.
Great. Thank you again. This is Sean Richards with the Team Engagement Podcast, where leaders of teams share their insights. And for more ideas, you can search us on LinkedIn by searching Blue Sky Business Consulting. Thanks so much for joining us, and have a great day.